Well. Greetings, fellow hapsters, and welcome, replay viewers. How is everyone tonight? This is part
Surprise!
for the day.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah, we didn't. We said we might come on later on tonight, but we didn't say for sure when and
Well, we couldn't leave
what.
everyone hanging if we didn't have to. Martin.
What?
Attempt to behave a little bit, will you?
Behave. Oh,
Yes,
behave.
you. So all those people who are not on Haps right now, get yourself over here, happs.tv / the @ symbol and CARR.
HUNGER.
There's something sticky on my computer.
Ew. I didn't put it there. I didn't put it there. It was not me. It was one of the cats. It was
Sure?
Baxter.
Probably. He is the evil one, that little one.
The evil one. The evil one.
I can do the mummy thing and see if I can. No, I know what paper towel is.
No, mummy spit.
Oh, there was paper towel there. Don't say anything. I'll be right back.
Don't say anything?
No.
Anything?
Anything.
Anything? Can I at least say hi to people if they say hi?
Maybe.
You know, keep people entertained, at least.
Why?
We'll see at this hour who pops. So what do we want to set a timer? What do we want to set a timer for?
I don't know.
Being 10:30, maybe we shouldn't go past midnight. So how about I set it for an hour and a half? Oh, actually, it's quarter after 11. Oh my God. Let's set it for an hour. Let's set it for an hour. My God, why did I think it was only 10:30? My God, the world flew by fast today.
Well, we spent hours on the last broadcast. A lot longer than we thought before.
That broadcast over 3 hours, didn't it?
It was almost 4.
Almost 4. Wow.
Yeah.
Easy. That's.
There we go. No more sticky stuff.
Well, since we've done a broadcast that long, yeah. No more sticky stuff. That's good.
We've broadcasted that long before.
Well, on Periscope.
We've broadcasted longer.
On Haps.
Really doesn't matter?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's all a blur. It's all the same. It's all carbon, no matter what platform it's on, right? That's how we're broadcasting now on all those other platforms as well, simulcasting. So
Haps is better.
Haps is way better.
So I'm gonna tuck myself up here.
And we say that because we know some of the Haps people usually check in and watch the broadcasts, but no,
that's right.
We mean it really.
We're not kissing people's.
Being very sincere. No, we're not kissing at all.
No. Kissing any butt skis?
Yeah. No.
So you have music there, Martin?
I do. Here, let me turn it up a little bit.
Yes, please. So we left everyone with the can we do a more common battery question, and you said you've done some research.
Yes, I have.
So Martin, tell us, what does your research say?
Well, the batteries that we have been using, the very expensive rechargeables that die if you let them die, that completely die if you let them discharge too much.
Which we got used to using.
Yeah, exactly. Their capacity is comparable to your run-of-the-mill store-bought AA rechargeable battery. So the one battery we were using for the Maleficent wings actually has a lower capacity than these do. The only disadvantage or the only advantage of the lithium polymer over these is lithium polymer is full power, right? Whereas these go slowly, gradually down. But I don't think that's a big deal. At least these don't completely die if you drain them. right? So, and they're a lot cheaper to come by. So this is what we're going to do for our new pack here. We have to get more battery holders for the AA's, but I've got a couple of salvage battery holders here that we can use to run a test and basically fire up the wing mechanism with the AA's, and just we'll let that sit on the broad and just crank away during the broadcast while I work on the straps and stuff for the rest of it, for the harness. Brain
Work.
Hey, God, brain. This is definitely an interesting
Sounds nice.
soundtrack, yeah. Alright. So I guess the first thing I could do is cut off the connector for the original battery, the rechargeable, because we're going to be wiring it up to a couple of AA packs.
So you found a couple AA packs,
Yeah,
but
I
not
found
a 4-pack.
a couple of twos, so that makes 4, which is the 6 volts that we need to drive this.
So can you explain how that works?
How that works?
Like each battery amplifies, or each battery lengthens the time, or
each battery is 1.5 volts. Actually, the lithium or the metal hydride are 1.2 volts. So what we've actually got is.
So hang on. Remember,
Okay.
we're talking to an audience that may not understand that lingo.
We are.
Rechargeable and non-rechargeable, technically.
Rechargeable and non-rechargeable. Rechargeable do have a longer charge life than the non-rechargeable batteries. So they will actually last longer, and when you can recharge them up to some of them 100 times, some of them 1,000 times. So you get quite a lot more life out of a rechargeable battery than you will out of a regular battery. And yeah, comparably, they've got a better capacity than a regular battery does. Which means if you're going out for the day with your wings, you're at a con or something like that, you bring 2 sets of these along and you're probably good to go. Have 2 charged sets, start with 1 set in the morning, partway through the day, switch them out, and you're good, and then charge them overnight, and they're all good to go again.
Now, here's the thing. On the wings, where we do fiber optics, does that mean 2 more batteries added, or can they also run the fiber optics as well as the motors?
It can also run the fiber optics, yeah. Because the fiber optics, the LEDs for the fiber optics don't really draw a lot of power, compared with what the motors are drawing. So it's a negligible amount.
All right.
Okay. So now we'll start working on wiring this up. So, who is out there tonight? Is it a quiet night on here? Everyone's a little worn out today.
My Wheezy bottle.
Oh, it was your Wheezy bottle, the mini Darth Vader bottle.
That's right, my Wheezy bottle. Ooh, excuse me, I didn't mean to yawn. Too tired to get Brain to work. Finally got the jacks in to start to raise the dormer. Nice. Half raised already. Not as impressive as it sounds. Only 1 inch out of 2. That's pretty impressive considering you're talking about a dormer. Martin right now is working on, Martin's going to focus on working on the pack while I read comments. Martin is working on a slight redesign to the mechanical pack for our fairy wings to make it more marketable on the store. We have a very bad habit with our creations of creating them just for us. And now that we have an online store, we want to be able to redesign it so it's easier for you guys. So that means standard rechargeable batteries. That means a backpack that can be used with different wings, different styles of wings, and And that means basically making it easy for you guys to change batteries, which is something we usually don't think about for ourselves. So we are designing a pack that can be used with different wings, and we're gonna once we get them up on the store, we are going to, which is at Carhunger CARR
HUNGER.
.ca. Once we get them up on the store, you'll be able to buy these packs for your own wings or ours. And we're also going to redesign the stationary back plate for non-flapping wings, so it works better. I don't think we'll get to that tonight, but we have a Monarch fundraiser coming up for the Monarch butterflies, and we would like to get out there with both of us with flapping wings, me with my stained glass style wings, and him with the cellophane ones that we made, and get them out on a test run and out in the open. And October will also be a fundraiser for the Monarchs for our story time. We are switching to a Day of the Dead type theme. And now it's for every $5 you contribute in sponsorships. We'll ask you for a name of someone or a pet or someone who's passed or whatever. And if you're able to provide like a 5-minute story, we'll make that part of the story time. And if you want to come on and read your own story for people, that's great. So those sponsorships are open until the end of September, because at the beginning of October, we will be planning for that. And that will be the Sunday before Halloween. We unfortunately have plans for Halloween that we're hoping will not get canceled. Hey, if they get canceled, maybe we'll do it again. 4 jacks, half turn at a time, over and over and over, rotating between jacks. So because Martin's soldering, it's not the most exciting thing to watch on a live broadcast. I am going to put our wings video in the middle and tuck Martin and I off to the side, and we'll see if he can solder these together by the time the video ends. And there goes my light again.
Cast into darkness.
Motion sensor. There's got to be a way to keep this on. Come on. Motion sensor. Motion sensor.
Motion sensor.
Fine. Got to go night. Night, night, Harold.
He wasn't on for very long.
Well, he said he was tired.
That's true.
Martin, if you can pause your music for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay.
Real Rugged DIY. What a great name. What kind of DIYs do you do, Real Rugged? And I see you're also on YouTube. Why don't you come on over to Haps?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what I'm working on here is something that doesn't take as much concentration because I don't have a hot soldering iron in my hand. I am working on new ear tips because my old ear tips are, well, old. Yeah, they're kind of due to be dead. RUGGED, yep. Real Rugged DIY. Taking a peek at your profile now. Fixing a loose ceiling vent register, testing older home electrical wire. Ride on mower bypass. DIY toilet repair. Yeah, there's some great things here. How to fix a loose HVAC floor register. Radio flyer, test the model. Place a three-way switch. Yeah, three-way switches are always fun. Cleaning dirty home ductwork. Now you see the old wiring.
Three-way switch
Testing
always
old.
makes me go. Sorry, go ahead.
No, by all means, Martin.
Oh, three-way switches always makes me think of dun 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 click dun dun dun
Click.
dun dun dun, dun click.
Click. Uh-huh. I agree. So the old, I'm looking at the old wiring one quietly, but I'm looking at it. That's awesome. Is that your own house? Martin's father used to wire houses in Toronto.
That's right, yeah. He was an electrical contractor back in that would be the 1960s.
Mm-hmm. Oftentimes things aren't done to code, and that makes me just sick to my stomach. Check out these live wires without a junction box and high voltage to boot.
Guy sounds like Mike Holmes.
He does.
What?
Well, have junction boxes always been a thing that that people used, or is that from a certain time period onward?
Junction boxes were always used. Well, I mean, knob and tube wiring was kind of interesting because they always had the parallel runs, the line and neutral, and then they would splice the wires, like they'd splice the insulation and twist onto the wires to branch off to another circuit. So that was all kind of exposed stuff and wrapped with electrical tape. That was long before regular like household wiring that you get now, which like two wires in the ground in a simple sleeve. And the junction boxes, it's just a lot safer because all the connections are enclosed in metal or plastic boxes that there's no way that you can accidentally short out something by coming across it or whatever, brushing against it. So, and then so many people, I'm sure I can agree, so many people will they're rewiring their place, they'll actually bury a junction box somewhere inside the wall. And that's an absolute no-no. The junction box has to be accessible, so the cover plate has to at least be on the surface where you can open up the cover, right?
Right.
So otherwise, something goes wrong in that junction box, you got to rip your wall apart to find the problem.
Ouch. Yeah.
Action, and then it overheats, and that's where you've got a fire that happens, and you don't know where it's starting because it's inside the junction box buried in the wall.
Speaking of, how are you doing?
What, wiring? I got my battery hoses wired up.
So would you like to, is it possible to test this out and see whether or not your theory on the batteries works?
My theory works, yes.
Your theory works?
Yes, it is. Remote.
So when the wings video is done, I will switch back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I will keep an eye on the comments while I work on my ears. I kind of wish I had my old ones with me so I can compare size.
Oh, yeah.
But I do not. All right. Video done. Martin takes center stage again.
Alrighty. So here's what I've done. I've just wired up two double A packs. Ultimately, we want a 4-pack. Right, nice flat 4-pack that we can mount inside the wing chamber, wing housing. So they're 4 nickel metal hydride batteries. It's 4.8 volts. And let's power it up and see what happens.
The moment of truth, folks.
The truth, we have power. The servos just went into their little startup routine.
Would you do me a favor, Martin? Is there a way to move your camera so that we can see just it nice and close up?
Nice and close. Well, it's the iPad that's running right now, so maybe I can just do this. I can at least hold on to it for.
Or do you want to make your phone a second camera?
If I had access to my phone, yeah,
Oh, that's right.
no way it can. I can't even get into it right now.
Ooh.
Okay, so I think we see one little problem here is the 4.8 volts may not be enough power to operate the receiver. Up any signals at all. So we might need to actually go with, let's say, 6 AA's, which isn't out of the question. So that would be 6 times 1.2 would be 7.2 volts, which these big ones are 7.4 volts. So that's actually maybe not a bad thing.
Well, here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
If for the customer, we are not making them wireless, it doesn't need the receiver.
That's true. So here, while I've got this, and while I have access to some of this tech here, I should be able to do a little cheating and a little jumpering.
See, this is why we work well together. Because Martin has a tendency of plowing ahead and not opening his mind to sideways thinking, whereas I do nothing but sideways think, it seems. I tried to turn it off. It didn't work. And this is why I say to people, never take suggestions like personally, because people will see things that you won't, and that's fine. Or as Martin and I like to put it, turn the chip around. When Martin used to work for a theater lighting company, I'm going to keep them occupied with stories. When Martin used to work for a theater lighting company, he was stuck because he was rebuilding basically these old dimmer systems for places that couldn't afford the more modern systems. So he was basically tasked with ordering in old chips and controller boards and anything that it would need in order to be able to rebuild it. And he was working on one when I showed up to pick him up. And he was frustrated, angry, and just grumbling at this dimmer and just wanted to kill it. Speaking of dimmers, come on, motion sensor. There's got to be a way to keep this on. So I walked in and I said, "Well, what's wrong?" And he said, "Oh, I did this, I did this, I did that. I checked the wiring. I did. I said, "Well, why don't you just turn the chip around?" And he said, "No, it goes in a particular way. You see where this arrow is? You see where this is?" I said, "Yeah, but they're old dimmers. And people don't really order these parts anymore. So they're probably being used for other things or have been modified since this dimmer was made. What if they change the design of the chip a little and it belongs the other way around? Turn the chip around." So he did. He said, "That's not going to work. It's not going to work." And he turned the chip around and it worked. So sometimes it's just a matter of turning the chip around. Now
Well,
that's a contemplating Martin. Yes?
I think in theory it will work. I just did a little jumper test to see if our little power, if just having like a little remote button would trigger it, and it does.
I'm
However, it may
assuming
still
it's
be
giving a.
during the, there we go.
Sorry?
But yeah, it is responding to the appropriate. No, it was responding to the appropriate. There we go. Yeah, I think
It's
right now
because you're.
what's happening is the um, the signals from the receiver board are interfering um, with the jumpers that I'm doing right now. So because the receiver board is just sort of on that borderline of of not quite operating. So I could disconnect power to the receiver board and see if that works better as
Okay.
well. Let's take a look. Pull that little jumper out. Voila. Pull it out of the way so that it doesn't risk contacting with anything else. Where'd that little gray jumper wire go that I had? There it is. Power back up again. So now we shouldn't get any interference from the receiver board, and touching the appropriate terminals should although why it's not going into a full flapping mode, I don't know. It's only doing one cycle. We may actually have to go to a higher, slightly higher voltage. Yep.
So 6 AA batteries.
6 AA batteries, 7.2 volts. Now, if we had another 2-pack, we could test out that theory.
Sounds like for a moment there you were talking about a Vulcan.
2-pack, 2-pack. I was thinking of a wrapper, but you know.
I like my version better.
Tuvok Shakur. I can just see it. The wrapping Vulcan. Okay, so that would make a big difference, I think. You're just getting enough power. What may be happening too, because that's only 4.8 volts, and I think even our Arduino driver chip needs 5 volts. So even it's sort of at that threshold of going, do I work? Do I not work? Do I, what am I doing here? So it's like a computer running on low power, right? It stops functioning properly. Kind of like a brain running on low power too.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
It does, yeah. So yeah, I think that's going to be a valid thing. I'm just trying to think. We might have somewhere another one of those 2 battery holders, because they came with the with those little tiny LED light strings that we were getting from Michael's or from the dollar store. So we were using those on the steampunk pew pews. So there might be another one that I can borrow for Rob temporarily. Or there might not. Well, that wasn't a very fruitful search. I just looked through all the stuff with the ones we were using for the little steampunk pew pews were actually had the little coin cell batteries. So that doesn't help us. The coin cell batteries, there's no chance no chance in the world that it'll operate. So I think proof of concept is there. We just need to step up the voltage a little bit, pump up the volume. Speaking of volume, I didn't mean the cat. I mean music.
Ah.
Okay, so for now, I'm going to put our electronics pack here out of the way. I'm going to start working on the actual harness portion of this pack. I assume we're split screen again, Christina?
No, I'm up in the corner.
Up in this corner or up in this corner?
Other corner. Yep, that corner.
Alrighty.
Did you want to be Switzerland?
Well, you're working on your ears, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm still looking at them and having a hard time deciding. Like, I mean, I know I had you pick, but I like characteristics of both of them.
hmm
I
yeah, I
like
know.
the subtlety of the one, but I like the size of the other one.
hmm The subtlety is nice on the one set. I know in photos the other ones might show up better because they're a bit more defined relief. But I do
Hmm.
like the subtlety of the other pair. They're very sleek and elegant, right?
Well, do me a favor.
Uh huh.
Do you know where my ears are there?
Yes. Watch out, kitty. Watch out, kitty. Don't want to roll over you.
Don't roll over the cat. That's mean. Oh, that's weird music.
It is, yeah. This is Celtic.
This isn't Celtic. This is like psycho space something.
I think this is the most recently used pair.
Well, I want the one that's the smaller design, the shorter design.
Oh, okay. That's this. That's this pair here. The ones that have a bit of red speckling to them, right?
Yeah. The little tip that kind of curves out a little.
Mm-hmm. I got them here.
No, I did not yawn. No one saw that.
Oh, hello. Help if I turn them both facing the same way. Right? That pair.
Move them to the side so they're more centered. Oh, damn it.
What? What'd you do? Oh, your lights went out again.
Patting myself in the back.
And the lights went out all over the world.
Why aren't they turning on as easily as they did before?
I don't know. There they go.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. So that's the smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you see the shape of those, they're much more round,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not really that much bigger, like where the point to the tip is, because you can see where my inner ear is on this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you take your finger and hide all the area that is the inner ear.
And all that area there.
So it's just more round.
Mm-hmm. A little more round in here, right?
Yeah. How about the other ones?
Here, I'll just pull out one of them. Actually, this one's kind of buckled. Let's check the other one. Yeah, the other one's in better shape.
Yeah, again, more round. Because I like the subtleness, the shallowness that I managed to get inside here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me play with it a little.
Okay.
I mean, that's what sculpting's about, right?
That's right.
Because yeah, I think I think this one is as great as it is. It's just too deep.
Mm-hmm. The relief in the tip.
Yeah.
Get myself a little piece of board to drill into. Hang on. There it is. Yeah, it's a very quiet night tonight on Haps. I just wonder if everyone is kind of worn out after all the events of today.
Well, it's possible. That or there's a lot of people on. It is Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, plastic curlicues. What I'm doing right now is drilling a couple of holes to make a mounting point for the two shoulder bands. I started with a smaller drill bit, sort of to set the hole, and now I use a larger drill bit to chase it out to the right size. At least it should be close to the right size. To use for these little Chicago bolts. Chicago bolts are like a little two-part bolt that it's a nice wide. Yeah, that works. The heads are actually very nice, wide and flat. So they're really good for fastening components like this. I think I actually want to put a little bit of a chamfer on the back of that hole because the um, Chicago bolt has a little bit of a lip on the inside. Let's see if I can get this actually back out again. Now that I got it in, how am I going to get it out? I know what you folks are thinking. But you know,
We're not that kind of broadcast.
that is so hard to do when we're in two different places. But you know, we'll
Well,
make
if
it
you're
work.
gonna set it up, listen for my sigh, man.
I know. Well, it's also different when there's a little bit of lag. Like the number of times you said, say goodnight, Martin, and you're like, Martin, Martin, and I've said say goodnight, but it's just delayed. Yeah, I'm gonna
It's
go
like
get a.
Michael trying to do karaoke. It's interesting watching them all trying to sync up.
It's hard, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know how musicians do the Zoom concerts where they're
I don't know.
performing their parts from different locations. It's just it takes such coordination. I know somewhere in our collection of drill bits we have a countersink bit. It'll be an interesting soundtrack, this one.
Yeah. Sounds more like the the music you get in a hotel lobby.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Celtic music. That's all we need. Celtic music. Yeah. We immediately see the countersink bit. It might be in one of the other toolboxes, but we have this little deburring tool, which will work quite well as well. Just has to be done by hand. And all it does
It's okay, you'll
is just
survive.
break the edge of the hole, create a little bit of a shoulder with a chamfer on it. And that way, our little Chicago screws will sit flatter. If it can. Coming.
This is kind of close to Celtic.
Kind of. You got a little bit of that Celtic violin thing going on, or Celtic fiddle. Pardon me. Oh, that was unexpected.
Well, if it was expected, then why are you planning a cough?
You know how sometimes you can feel it sneaking up on you, but that one was just suddenly like, blah, there, it was there. Now, I don't need our little board at the moment because I'm not doing any more drilling, so just put that down below.
All right.
So, as we talked about with everyone in the earlier broadcast today, the way we're doing these is we're moving the wings up just a little bit on the back, which is why we modified this plate instead of it having a bit more of a square shape to it with it had a bit of a raised area in the middle. We got rid of all of that because we don't need it. Rounded it off some more so it's not going to interfere with shoulder blades quite so much. And now we're going to add the straps. We've moved the compared with the last pack, we've moved the holes for the strap mounting down a little bit, which moves the whole plate up a little bit on the back. And let's see how that works. Yeah, this is just weird. It's like some confused, disorganized fiddle player.
He's been drinking. That's why they're calling it Celtic.
Aye, that's right. It's Irish, isn't it?
That's right. Damn it!
Dang, damn it! That's not like that.
It's like the sensor is different this time.
Did they come in and replace it or something?
It's not as sensitive for not pointing in my direction or something. I don't know.
Just realized I put that strap on the wrong side. Had the shoulder band, shoulder hook facing in the wrong direction.
Well, that's not going to help.
No. Much better. That's much better. And the other one goes on this side. And the Chicago screws come in different lengths too, which is handy we're going through different thicknesses of materials. They were, I think, they were originally designed for bookbinding. You see a lot of
Oh,
like
really?
scrapbooks and stuff like that, and you see little sample books sometimes too. Have them in the corner where you have like a stack of different samples, like our gel sample books. Some of
That's right.
the better ones have the Chicago screw in it, and you can get spacers too. So if you have something thicker, like you can see it in scrapbooking collections, if you have like a thicker scrapbook or a thicker album, you can screw these little spacers in to make your post longer or shorter. But yeah, they're available in all sorts of different sizes. They're all interchangeable, which is
Okay. Okay, Martin. Ready?
ready for what? Oh, do I have to go to audience preview to see them?
I assume so.
Okay, hang on a sec. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that was the one that we decided that we like the shallowness and everything of it.
Yes.
But we decided now that it's too narrow and the larger one is more obvious. So I took the larger one and I mushed it down
Mm-hmm.
and then refidgeted the back shape, and that's what I wound up with.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So now, what do you think? Number one or number two?
I like number 2.
Okay, I'll keep it that shape.
All right. Bloop. All right. So here we go. So that's the back. That's the shoulder bands themselves. You can see that sits there. Once this has got a waist strap around it, then that holds in place.
She really wants your attention.
What? I know. Okay, come here. Come say hi. Say hi to Haps. Say hi to everyone on Haps. No, don't pick me up. I just want attention. Don't pick me up. Say hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. She is so not a lap cat. She does not like being picked up.
I made you large and she ran away.
Oh, darn. Yeah, so that's gonna work like that. And like we were talking about earlier, is we're gonna be able to give the customer the option by providing the buckles separately to connect up to the shoulder straps, so that the customer can either do them crisscross over the front, they can do them this way, right? They can actually adjust to exactly how far they want them to cross over. Based on, dependent on their costume that they're putting this on. What we did for the Monarch Ferry is we have basically large slots in the costume on the sides and on the shoulders that the bands come through, so that all this can stay underneath the costume while the wings themselves are mounted on the outside of the dress.
I think
That's
my
funny.
right
Picking
earlobe is a
her up
little
for like
larger than my left.
10 seconds, I'm covered in fur. 10 seconds. That's all it took.
She got you. She got you.
She got me. She got me real good. So it is midnight. I think we probably shouldn't be on later than about 12:30.
Well, this was an extra bit that we didn't pre-advertise, so.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's gonna work like that, basically. So that means the back plate can get mounted, can get put on the costume and on the person, and then this unit here with the wings attached can be put in place and then bolted on.
Now, for mine, I assume we're still going to be using the batteries we've been using
Yes.
and the remote control.
Yeah.
For the customer, we're going to make it easier for them.
Make it a little bit more user friendly, and they'll just have a little wire that they can chase through the costume somewhere, either down to their belt or down the sleeve to their hand, and have a little two button remote. The way we've got it right now is one button toggles the wings open or closed, and the other button stops the flapping. So pretty straightforward.
So, Martin, my back is also starting to really hurt. So we had a very tiny audience tonight, which, considering everyone else is on and things are crazy, not so bad. Do you have the answers that you require that we can give them something possibly tomorrow evening, either this or pour the first crown?
We could, yeah.
Because the mold should be fine by now, right?
Yeah. I checked the mold. I haven't pulled the mold yet, but I checked it, and it's beautifully cured. There's no bubbles. It's nice and solid. So yeah, we can easily do that tomorrow.
So why don't we just keep this at the 1 hour?
Okay.
And the few of you that are out there, thank you for joining us. And if we're going to come back on tomorrow, we will make sure that we pre-promote, pre-advertise, let you know when we're coming on. We do appreciate all of you and all the wonderful things that you do for us. And there's information on the sponsorships and the story times and everything all over our profile. So feel free to go look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind you all, respect yourself more than anyone else can. Everything will be fine. Self-respect, self-love, two most important things ever. And hey, Martin, why don't you say goodnight, Martin?
Good night, Martin.
And do remember, folks, our store is CARR, CARR, Hunger, HUNGER.ca. Oh, I took away your name. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
CARR.
HUNGER.ca.
All right, folks. We'll talk to you later. Waving bye-bye.
Bye.
We had a great time in Montreal. Montreal was all hardwood floors, right? Go on, camera. Okay. I'd like to. That's my favorite thing. That's why you No! Well, look up there.
How much styrofoam?
No.
startled. The birds are confused. It's like, what's this city doing here?
But don't leave us hanging.